In today's episode, we talk about the necessity of moving forward in order to make course corrections.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. Years ago, I wanted to learn how to jet ski, and I was in Mexico. And this is one of the jet skis, the old style jet skis, not the ones that you see today where you have two seats. It's kind of buoyant and, it doesn't really tip over. I'm talking about the old school ones, the ones that you basically had to start in the water, kind of laying on your stomach, and you had to just give it gas. And then once you started giving it enough gas, then you can kind of pull yourself up. You take one knee, and then you had to balance, because if you couldn't balance, you just fell over. It just didn't work. Well, I learned one valuable lesson. If you want to learn how to jet ski on one of these old school jet skis, the best place to do it is, well, Mexico's one place. Another place would be Florida, because in this particular lake in Mexico, there were actually alligators. And I never forget the guy saying, here you have the jet ski for the next hour, have fun. And I'm like, there's alligators in that lake. He goes, oh, no problemo. I'm like, well, is it no problem because I've already paid for it, or the alligators aren't going to bother me, or I'm not going to bother them? I wasn't really quite sure, but it was amazing how quickly I became proficient and learned how to stay standing up on the jet ski. But here's something that I learned, and I didn't realize it until I got, probably about halfway through my hour. And that was, as you laid off the gas and let the gas go down, the jet ski was almost impossible to turn, because the propulsion of the motor and that water rushing out of the back, that is actually how it turned. There was no rudder or anything on the jet ski. And as soon as you let off the gas, you no longer had control. It went just in the same direction that it was going before. The only way to turn one of these jet skis was to do it under power. You needed to be having that thrust coming out of the engine and coming out of the back of that jet ski. I want you to think of this as a metaphor. The only way to change direction is under power, making forward progress. Think of a plane sitting on a tarmac. You can turn the rudder, you can turn the flaps. Nothing happens to that airplane unless it's under power. It's in the air. It's making forward progress. That's the only way you can affect change and direction of that aircraft. We all know in the attainment of any of our goals, we have to take massive action, but we also have to course correct along the way. You've got to be making these subtle changes. A flight from Los Angeles to New York is off track most of the time, but they're constantly making little adjustments and getting back on track. The wind shifts a little bit. The plane kind of drifts to the left, to the right, up, down, and the autopilot, if the autopilot is engaged, or the pilots are constantly bringing it back on course. But the only way to bring it back on course is to be making forward progress. And what happens with so many entrepreneurs is you stop. You're in the middle of doing and executing, and then all of a sudden you go, I don't know if this is the right path. I don't know if this is the right direction. I don't know if I'm on the right course. And you stop. And you can't make any forward progress, and you can't make any changes in a stopped position. You must be under power. You must be going forward. Same thing with a powerboat. If you've ever driven a powerboat, as soon as you lay off the throttles, you have very little control. Now, you have a little bit more control in a boat because you have a rudder, but basically, you've got to keep those props turning. You must continue forward progress. You must be under power. That is the only way to control and guide that vessel in the direction that you want it to go, period. Question of the day. Where in your life or where in your business have you let off the gas? Where have you just gotten to that point where you're like, I don't know which direction I need to go. I don't know which way to turn. And the safest thing would be is just pull that gas back into neutral. Well, you're going to find yourself just sitting there drifting aimlessly, and you're not going to be able to make the changes that you need to make. Start moving forward. Things will become clearer as you make some progress, and you'll have control of the craft, your life, or your business. You must remain under power. Call to action. Schedule in your calendar time to determine where you've been letting off the gas and where you need to be applying more pressure, more forward motion, and more energy. Being a peak performer is all about execution. Think of those people that you know that you consider peak performers. Some have had great plans, some are really smart, some just have natural talent, and others are highly educated. But the one thing that they all have in common, and I don't even know who you're thinking about, they all know how to execute. If they can't execute, they would not be considered a peak performer. Everybody has dreams, but peak performers actually execute them. This applies on the field, in athletics, or in the boardroom. If you're a business owner, a coach, an entrepreneur, or a corporate executive, and you're frustrated and tired of knowing what to do, but you just can't seem to get it all done, or your results are inconsistent, or maybe you're really good at execution, but your team doesn't know how to execute. Are you missing budget? Are you working 80 hours a week and it seems like you're just banging your head up against the wall every day? I know I've been there. Are you not making the kind of money that you want and deserve? I have a program that just might be the answer for you. This program is not for everyone. We go deep, we get raw, we get real. But if you're truly committed to mastering execution and for the first time truly being able to execute on what you know, as opposed to just trying to figure out more information and looking for that secret, we will teach you to become a master of execution. We'll teach you the science of getting things done. Simply take your phone and text the word BESUMMIT, one word, to 41411. That's Business Execution Summit. The keyword, BESUMMIT, that's what you text, and text it to 41411. Remember, it's not what you know. It's not even who you know. It's about what you're able to execute. That's what truly matters. Don't let another month, another quarter, or another year slip by with just average results. Text today. Thank you for listening. If you haven't already done so, please head over to iTunes and subscribe to the show. Also, please share this with family, friends, coworkers, or anyone that could benefit from this information. To make it very easy to share these episodes, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode that you want to share, and you can post it to your timeline. You just might be helping one of your friends on Facebook by sharing it on your page. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. The email is info@thorconklin. While at the website, please sign up for our weekly newsletter with additional tricks, tips, tools, and psychology on how to be a peak performer. Remember, these episodes are anywhere between 6 and 35 minutes and are meant to be consumed during dot time doing other things. Until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.